All right, let's talk about one of the most maddening parts of faith. That question we've all asked. Why does God make us wait, even when we feel like we are so ready for the next thing? If you've ever felt like you're just stuck in God's waiting room, this explainer is for you. We're gonna get some real clarity today. Let's dive in.
Sound familiar? You've done the work, you're all prepped, you've been faithful, but you're still in the exact same spot. It is confusing, and, if we're being totally honest, it can feel a little unfair.
You have prayed. You've poured your heart out, been specific, been persistent.
And you've actually grown. You're not the same person you were last year. You've matured, you've dealt with your stuff, you've changed.
And yet, after all of that, crickets. The door is still shut, the situation hasn't budged, and that silence, it can be absolutely deafening. But let me be super clear. The point of this whole thing is not to pile on more frustration. It's actually to show you why this delay might be the biggest sign that God is deeply, personally involved in your life. The goal here is freedom from all that waiting anxiety. And to get there, we have to just tear down this huge lie that so many of us believe, that if we're waiting, it must be because we did something wrong, that God's disappointed. The truth, and we see it all over the Bible, is that waiting isn't punishment. It is powerful, intentional preparation. And look, this is not some new idea. Just look at these heavy hitters of the faith. Abraham waited 25 years for his promised son. Joseph was stuck for 13 years as a slave and a prisoner before he got to the palace. And David, he was anointed king as a teenager, but waited over 15 years to actually wear the crown. For every single one of them, the wait had a massive purpose.
This really points to this huge concept of divine timing. See, God's promises are usually bigger than just us. He's not just preparing the promise for you, a lot of the time he's preparing the entire environment around the promise.
I like to think of it as God's ecosystem. It's all the people, all the places, the systems, everything that needs to be perfectly lined up so that your blessing doesn't just show up, but so it can actually thrive. Sometimes the wait has zero to do with you and everything to do with getting that ecosystem ready. So what does that look like in real life? Well, maybe you're ready for that relationship, but the other person, they still need some healing. Or maybe you're ready for that big promotion, but the company culture is toxic right now and it would totally crush you. In those moments, God's no, not yet is actually his protection. He sees all the stuff you can't. Now, this waiting season also does something else, something incredibly important. It exposes our real motives. When the thing we want is delayed, it kind of forces us to ask the hard question. Why do I really want this? Is it for God's glory, or is it just for my own validation? And then, the next question goes even deeper. Is it about control? Do you want this thing to fulfill a God-given purpose, or is it really about a desperate need to control your own life, your own outcomes? And here it is. This is the biggest question of all. Does this waiting period reveal that you truly want God himself, or do you just want the stuff he can give you? That is the ultimate heart check. Because if the blessing would end up taking God's place in your heart, he loves you too much to give it to you right now. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood verses in the entire Bible. This doesn't mean God is some kind of cosmic vending machine where you put in delight and get out desires. No. It means that as you delight in him, especially in the waiting, he literally starts to reshape your desires until they line up with his perfect plan. You actually start wanting what he wants for you. It's amazing. So what's the whole point of this internal deep dive? Well, think of this season as your own personal spiritual gym. Waiting isn't passive, it's an active workout, and it develops some critical spiritual muscles. Endurance gets built under the constant pressure of not yet. Your discernment gets sharper because you have to learn to hear God's quiet whisper over the shouting of your own impatience. You build emotional discipline by choosing faith over frustration, day in and day out. And maybe the most important one, you develop the deepest kind of faith there is, the ability to trust God's goodness when there is zero evidence in sight. Let this one really sink in for a second. God's number one priority isn't the delivery speed of your blessing, it's the development of your character. Who you are becoming in the fire of waiting is infinitely more important to him than you getting what you want right when you want it, right? Here's a really simple way to think about the difference. We want God to move when our emotions are at their peak, when we're feeling desperate or anxious or even just really excited. But God, in his infinite wisdom, he moves when alignment peaks. That's that perfect moment when you,
the ecosystem, and his divine purpose all click into place. And if you ever doubt God's timing, just remember this verse. Jesus, the absolute cornerstone of everything we believe, didn't come early. He didn't come late. He showed up in the fullness of time. If God can be trusted with the timing for saving the entire world, he can definitely be trusted with the timing of your situation. Okay, so what do we do? How do we wait? Well, practically speaking. Well, first, stay obedient. Don't just give up and walk away because you're frustrated. Second, stay grateful. Gratitude has this wild power to totally shift your perspective. Third, stay growing. This is training time, not sitting around time. And finally, stay surrendered. A yielded heart is the fastest lane for God to move in.
So let's redefine this whole thing one last time. Waiting is not inactivity. It's not doing nothing. It is a posture of active, courageous trust in a God who is always working behind the scenes for your good.
This right here is an affirmation worth holding on to. I mean, really believe it. Say it out loud. God's timing is working for you, not against you. He's perfecting something beautiful in your life, and trust me, you do not want to rush the artist. So if you walk away with just one thing, let it be this. If you are in a season of waiting, know this deep down in your spirit. God has not forgotten you. He has not changed his mind. Your delay is not his denial. It is his divine preparation for a promise that's going to show up right on time.